Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today, I thought we'd talk a little bit about Dynasty football here. We have not really talked much yet about dynasties, except maybe after the NFL draft, we talked about the rookies. That's about as close as we've got to talking about dynasty football. So figured we'd do that. We've been in a dynasty league here for now. I think we're going into year 4. So it's always interesting. Different strategies. You draft differently. But the biggest thing with the dynasty, I think, is the startup draft. So I thought we'd talk about that today because last week we had our own little listener league, dynasty league. We had 14 teams. We had 13 people get into the league through Instagram. We have all of our followers there. We asked probably like 60-some people wanted to be in it. We held a lottery. So 13 people got in. We held the draft. So I thought we'd just go through the different ways people drafted, what you think, good strategies. You know, Jeff, you're going to figure out if you think I did the draft, so you're going to maybe critique me, see how I did it.
And I've seen the draft results. Craig did very, very nice. And just to give you the idea of how it went down, obviously you can always find out what you'd be ranked on these different websites. And after Craig poured all the information in, he ended up 7th overall for this upcoming year, which is big. Ranks. So for Dynasty, it's going to be this year and then how you look moving forward. Yep. So 7th out of 12. Out of 14, I'm sorry. So he's middle of the pack. And then moving forward, he is number 1.
They ranked that.
Yep. So obviously that has a huge deal to do with the age of your players, their potential, everything like that. Yep. So, Craig, why don't you run us down kind of the roster that you have, and then we can go through their ages and kind of when you get them.
And that's one of the things I think in this. I think the way to go Dynasty, I think it is go young. I don't see the point in trying to win right now. I don't. You can maybe win one championship, and then your team's going to suffer forever, possibly. It's a fun. That's not building a dynasty. The whole point of Dynasty is to try to build something that can last for a long time and be good. You can go the cheap route and try to win right away. It might not work. The best way is to try to maybe do a mix of it. Don't maybe go all young, but get some young guys that are good now already. And that's why I think we did that and did this with this draft. By quarterback, I got Marcus Mariota. Still quite young. He's just hopefully going to be coming into being a great player here soon. So I think I like him. He's only 23 years old.
Yeah, and he's already shown huge strides. I think he's going to keep getting better. So, is he going to be the best quarterback this year? No, he probably will not be. But moving forward, he has huge upside. He has a chance to be top 10 this year. Yep. So I love that pick. And then you also followed it up with another young quarterback.
Yep, Carson Wentz will be the backup. So a second-year guy. I mean, Wentz is 24 still as well. So two young guys there at quarterback that, hey, I think one of them will be really good, and probably Mariota. And Wentz should be a fine backup. And in a dynasty and a 14 team too, you definitely want that backup quarterback. And this isn't a league to screw around with that. And so pick Wentz. Who knows? It might work out, might not. But I think it's a good depth pick right now. But running back, then I went Joe Mixon, Isaiah Crowell as my starters. Crowell, I think, is probably younger than people even realize. He's been in it a couple years. He's only 24 years old too. So another young guy who is already supposed to be a top 15 back, if not higher. And then Joe Mixon, rookie, who knows? We don't know what he's going to 100% do yet, but he's only 21 years old, too. A young rookie.
Yeah, taking the leap of faith a bit on him, but we haven't seen any red flags on the field. He's been wonderful in the preseason. People are already saying he's probably going to, unplant Hill in the red zone, do all this different stuff. Maybe not this year, but definitely moving forward. He's definitely their future.
And Mixon's where I took a little bit of a chance, probably a leap on the player. He was my second-round pick. I actually picked him mid-second round. I picked him ahead of Crowell. Crowell was my third-round pick. But that's where, with this, I feel like Mixon has a higher ceiling than Crowell in the future. So I wanted to go Mixon here.
So in this, for when you were drafting running back, obviously you just said Mixon and then Crowell. Did you pick those guys because running backs were thin already? Everyone went before that?
Because I went Mike Evans first round. I was middle of the pack. My choice was, this was what I decided between Mike Evans and I was decided between Melvin Gordon. And the reason I went Evans, I think wide receivers just have a little bit more longevity. And that's why I went Evans. I like them both. I would have been fine with Gordon. but I didn't know what wide receivers would be there coming around, and I wanted to make sure I had a really good young receiver. And Evans is young and really, really good. So I decided to pass up on Gordon, hoping I'd get somebody good coming around. The crazy thing to me, which I probably should have done here, which I didn't, it wasn't even Zeke. Should have picked Zeke in the first. That's where I didn't pick him. I think I should have picked Zeke first.
Gotcha.
And it was more of, I should just, who cares? Punt that year.
Right. What was your thinking behind passing him up then? Are you worried?
I like Evans a lot. I still like the longevity with a wide receiver in Dynasty. That's where I think I still would.
But Zeke, as far as that goes, is it more?
I probably would have picked Zeke over Gordon there, actually. Right. But
do you have any worry that this is going to affect his future in the league?
Not quite, but the thing is, it's still running backs. They don't. I mean, Mike Evans could easily play for a lot longer than Zeke does.
No, without doubt. I mean, wide receivers do play. I would love to let's see if I can actually find how many more years. Yeah. But I mean, how long has Fitzgerald played? I mean, he's already been in the league for
Evans has another 10 years before he gets there.
And he's a large wide receiver that's not built completely on speed. So you know that he's going to be useful very, very late into his career. Yeah. So that I do. I like wide receivers. Usually I lean running back this year in standard leagues. But when you're talking about Dynasty, I do feel like those wide receivers jump up because even like an Antonio Brown, he's been around for a long time, but he's still going to play for another guaranteed 5 years pretty much. Yep. So their careers are just much, much longer. And same thing with tight ends as well. They do play for a lot longer.
That's where I decided to do that, I guess. But Zeke would have been the other option. It's just, hopefully these things don't continue with him, but you never know. Yeah. It is somewhat of a worry.
I think Mike Evans is a guaranteed pick, so I understand where your mind was.
I was really, really hoping somehow he would last. But he actually did last in the second round. So he was the 16th pick.
I'm really surprised at that.
I didn't think there's any way he would even come close to coming back around to me. But he, 16th pick, they got a steal there. It's actually Team is Wet picked him. They got Michael Thomas in the first, and then he went with Zeke in the second. That's a nice little setup right there for a Dynasty League, especially. Mm-hmm. I do like that a lot with the way he started that team. Later on, maybe Tyreek Hill in the third and Amir Abdullah in the fourth. So stayed young, too, and went the same kind of strategy. I kind of like that. Going back to my team here, Evans was the receiver. Then I got Jarvis Landry, who's still only 24 years old. And this is a half-point PPR. So got Jarvis as my second wide receiver. He was in the fourth. So players around him. I was going to pick Martavis Bryant. Martavis Bryant went one pick ahead of Landry. So Papa John's is that team. I'm not happy with him. Papa John. Picked Martavis. I was all set to pick Martavis Bryant right there, and he beat me to it. So then I ended up picking Landry because my options at that point, tell me what you would have done here. It was basically it's Landry, or you go, the other option would have been Calvin Benjamin. There's Calvin Benjamin, Willie Snead. Those are the next guys to go. Then Stephon Diggs were the next guys. What Benjamin worries me just because obviously there's been some issues about him getting into shape maybe, and I don't know.
He's still very young. Once again, he's kind of a big guy. I think he's relatively safe. I do worry about him not living up to that, but I feel like all those guys come with question marks right there. Yep. It's funny. Usually I'm kind of lower on Stephon Diggs this year, but I think in a dynasty I kind of like his value because I don't know what's going to happen with that offense, who's going to end up being quarterback, but I think that eventually his talent will take over. So I kind of like him in that situation.
Diggs there. Yeah, I would have liked Diggs. Diggs wasn't even really necessarily my option there. I thought he would be lasting a little bit longer than that, but he didn't. He actually was, pretty soon after that. And Kelvin Benjamin's actually 2 years older than Jarvis Landry. Kelvin Benjamin's already getting up there in age a little bit.
Yeah. And if you have it in front of you too, how high or how quickly did some of the rookies? Obviously you took Mixon, but where did Fournette land and McCaffrey?
Fournette went 15 overall, one spot ahead of Zeke. So Fournette went behind Ajayi and Devontae Freeman and McCoy. I'm probably going Fournette over McCoy for sure.
Yeah, and McCoy takes that on the chin because he's kind of at the end of his career. Yeah. I mean, if you got 2 more really dominant years out of him, I think that would be really good.
If you're going maybe I want to win now, that McCoy's the guy to go, but you're not going to get much out of him at all.
And actually, who are the top 5 to go?
Top 5 here is Le'Veon Bell went number 1, then David Johnson went number 2. Would you do that in this?
I would still go David
I'd
Johnson.
go David Johnson just because in Dynasty it just makes it the younger guy.
Yeah, I would too.
Antonio Brown went 3. Yep, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Julio 4. I'm not picking Julio over Odell and Mac Evans.
No, and even in...
I like Julio. I am personally picking him in a redraft league, but not in a Dynasty. Nothing wrong with Julio. It's just, he's what, 28 years old? Is that what is he at now? I don't have it in front of me. I feel like, he's 28. So he's 28. He'll be 29 right after the season. So he's a couple good years left in him, but Odell Beckham and Mike Evans have just extra years behind that, And they're just so similar.
Tell you the truth, I think taking Antonio Brown up there was a mistake too, because he's 29 already, right. And I think he's probably good to go probably into probably another 3 years, say. Yep. But if I'm going to take Mike Evans, who was number 1 last year, I would like to remind everyone, even if he just hangs around, he's a top 5 guy. Yep. You get that top 5 guy for probably, probably a decade longer almost.
Yep.
I would definitely do that. So I feel like they went a little more on the win now, when I think that you could drop down a few spots and take a guy that you get much longer.
And not really lose much.
Yeah, so I don't really understand exactly where they were going with that. Antonio Brown, phenomenal, and if they're going win now, more power to you. But I liked Mike Evans a little more than him. I think Julio probably drops down. And McCoy, too, is a surprising one that went over a Fournette, or even going over McCaffrey.
Yeah, McCaffrey went in the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey went after Lamar Miller, DeMarco Murray. So.
Was it Mixon the first really young guy to kind of jump over his ADP?
Probably, and that was my doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I jumped him because I just like the potential there. Look, another thing. Aaron Rodgers went 6th.
Hold it, 6th overall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, he's 33, but quarterback, he could probably still have 7 years in him. So I guess that it's still
it's
solid.
Possible.
That actually could be solid yet. His age is up there, but it's not the same. So
I don't see him falling off. I don't think I would have taken him 6th overall.
But
I don't necessarily mind him being the first quarterback off the board.
Well, the second quarterback wasn't even taken until the 3rd round. So to me, it feels like it ended up maybe being a reach in a way.
Yeah.
He probably would have gone in the 2nd then, but the next quarterback finally off the board was in the 3rd round, and that was Andrew Luck.
Okay, and that makes more sense because he's incredibly young still.
Yep. And then actually the 3rd quarterback taken was the very end of the 4th. Which think about this is 14 teams, so this is pick 56. But it was Tom Brady.
Well, he did say that he was going to play for pretty much forever. But once again, I think that's way too. Especially now, you saw that quarterbacks were dropping. I think you that one you just bite the bullet, and then if he leaves, even if he's taken, and I don't even know, like Matt Ryan is a little bit younger.
Yep.
I would much rather have someone like a Jameis Winston, Mariota. I'm trying to think, Derek Carr.
Yeah.
There's quite a few really young guys that aren't going to be too far off of that. But then again, you are going to have the upper hand with Brady, for probably the next 2 years.
Yeah. And I got Mariota in the 7th, so waited quite a bit to get a guy I think up and coming. I did actually pick him over Jameis, so I made that choice.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. I think I have Jameis higher this year, but
and
Mario
had him over Derek Carr too. So I'm just not as big of a Derek Carr fan.
Yeah, I really like Mariota as far as Dynasty goes, because I just think I haven't seen a guy like that who has it kind of all and has shown me flashes. I think I kind of have seen a Derek Carr before. I think he's very, very good. I think he's going to be a great wide receiver for a long time. But Mariota is kind of the question mark of where is this guy's ceiling?
Here's an interesting one. I'm going to pick around here and just show you some of the players in the order here and tell me what you think. It's round 7. Okay, this is the round I got Mariota in. Pick 90, Pierre Garçon. 92, Mike Wallace. 93, Adam Thielen. 94, Devontae Parker.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I think this is and depending on what their team already looks like, right? They might be going for these guys.
No, but I don't even think why you go.
To tell you the truth,
those guys you don't even like.
No, I wouldn't even take them over. That's a no-brainer. Devontae Parker.
Some people really like Thielen, but I
don't
like him over Devontae Parker.
No, exactly. I would have taken Devontae Parker way earlier in this whole draft. And Thielen, I kind of like him. Okay. He might turn into something. I understand that one. I don't understand the Wallace and I already forgot what the other one was.
Thielen and Garcon.
Garcon and
Sorry, man.
Wallace. I just feel like even this year you're drafting a number 3 wide receiver and you're only going to get him for 1 or 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think those are kind of throwaway picks, which I don't like in a dynasty.
Here's another situation. Round 5, pick 64 overall. LeGarrette Blount. Pick 72, round 6. Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Well, once again, maybe if you. We also don't like Blount. And last year he had 18 touchdowns, which is crazy. So if you're looking at that and you're saying, hey, this guy could be a TD vulture, I need him to win right now. If you're high on him, I get it. But once again, Derrick Henry, I just feel is such a commodity moving forward. You know he's going to, at some point, he's going to be the lead back, right? As long as he doesn't have some catastrophe as far as injury. So those are the guys that I would always go for. But then again, you ended up with a very young team. But you're probably going to have to duke it out just to make playoffs this year.
Definitely.
So I understand if people say, they kind of mix it up a bit.
Here's the guy. I'm going to call him out. Papa John's. That's who picked him. I'm going to call out his team. Tell me what you think about his team to start here.
Okay.
We're just going to call him straight out right now. He's listening. I don't have his username in front of me, but AJ Green round 1.
That's awesome. Yeah, no problem with that.
Rob Gronkowski round 2.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. I think that might be a little high, but at the same time, if he doesn't get injured,
ends, though,
it's a steal.
If someone else gets healthy and stays healthy, look at how old Antonio Gates is.
They go forever.
These guys go
so
forever.
I'm okay with that.
Round 3, Dalvin Cook.
I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, definitely, because he got Dalvin Cook, let's say, the next running back after Dalvin Cook was Amir Abdullah, so that's solid.
And he's another one. I'm not huge on him this year, but if they fix that line, they will down the line. He's going to be very good at that.
Round 4, Martavis Bryant.
Yeah, I like him too.
So through 4 rounds, he's sitting there with wide receivers of AJ Green and Martavis Bryant, running back of Dalvin Cook, tight end of Rob Gronkowski. You like his team at that point, don't you?
I like him now. He can win this year too, which is really, really cool. It's very difficult to do both because, if you got a bunch of, Cook and maybe some other guys. But, yeah, what's not to like about that team so far?
And sorry, Papa John's, you had a great start. This is where you went wrong, and this is why he's ranked low. I'll tell you before we get these picks. If you look at that team you're like, okay, this is a 14-team league.
Yeah.
Those are good young picks. They're good players, young players. For this year, he is ranked 9th. For overall Dynasty, he is dead last.
What? How? What? Okay, what the world? How is that possible even?
I feel bad calling him out like this. Hey, this is part of it. This is part of
I liked all his picks so far, so
round 5,
I feel bad about me.
Round 5, he went LeGarrette Blount.
Okay, yeah, well... we've already talked ad nauseum. We're not big Blount fans. But.
Round 6, he went Terrence West.
Oh.
Over Tevin Coleman. Over Corey Davis, a wide receiver there even. Over Eddie Lacy even.
Okay.
Over Kareem Hunt. Those kind of things.
Okay, who was after that?
Round 7, Mike Wallace. Over Devontae Parker. Jeff's speechless. Sorry.
I don't want to. As much love as I gave the first 5 picks were amazing. Those I just don't understand the thinking behind the next 3. You're not getting age, and you're not probably getting that much production this year.
Round 8, Adrian Peterson.
That could be a more win. I don't mind that one either, to be honest. Like that could be a win now, especially that late.
After the running backs after Peterson were Latavius Murray, Jacquizz Rodgers. Rodgers went ahead of Doug Martin. I would pick Doug Martin. Personally, I'm picking Doug Martin over Peterson there.
I don't think Rodgers is that young, is he?
I don't know his exact age, but he's never going to be a top guy. He's never going to be a top guy.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where Papa John's went wrong, the middle rounds. That's it. That's where he went wrong. Great start. He still can salvage it. Rankings are rankings. They're not.
No, they're not everything.
They're not set in stone, obviously. It's just what some people rank them. That's just where they are. Definitely has a chance to turn around. After that, he went Thomas Rawls. Who knows?
Yeah, I actually like that pick. I'm with him on that one.
Deontay Foreman, round 10.
Love that one. Especially in round 10.
Tyrod Taylor, round 11. I don't like the fact that he picked him over Stafford. 1 pick ahead of Stafford. I like Stafford more there, personally.
Yeah, I would take a...
I understand. I
get it. I'm okay with that
James Conner, round 12.
Okay, going for the sleeper.
Yep. And, with the players left there,
Yeah.
J.J. Nelson, round 13.
Yeah, I like that one too. That's fine.
Jonathan Williams, backup for McCoy, round 14. Okay. Trubisky, round 15. Marquise Goodwin, round 16. So, and then we keep going. But
So I like that. Yeah, those 3 picks right in a row.
That changes the team.
Yeah, and usually I'd be okay. And Trubisky late, that's great as far as, I don't like what the Bears did, but he looked great so far, and he's insanely young, so he can grow into a number 1 running back.
Yep.
And if you have him, I can understand getting Tyrod then, right? So that makes sense doing the 2 of them. But once again, Blount, Terrence West, and Willie. Who was the third one?
Blount, Terrence West, and Mike Wallace.
I just don't understand the pick because I don't think they're going to help you win now, and they're definitely not going to be down the road either. So
no, because you could probably go on. Let's say you could have gone Derrick Henry, Corey Davis, then Devontae Parker.
Right. If you went all young,
and you went young, but he could have gone young with what he got to start the draft. AJ Green, like you went young and still good, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Papa John's, we're calling you out a little bit.
Again, okay.
You had a great start. You did. And you still can sell. You have great players.
Yeah, I love the beginning and end of that.
There was 3 rounds I'm not a fan of. Maybe we're wrong. Terrence West is still young.
I'm actually surprised that he was ranked so low, though.
Yeah, Terrence West is still young.
How old is he?
I mean, let me pull this up.
He's still probably he's definitely a mid-20s. Was he 25, 26?
He's 26. He's not old. So we could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
We're not wrong on LeGarrette Blount.
Well, I was going to say, even LeGarrette Blount. Say he turns...
No, there's nothing. There's no salvaging the LeGarrette Blount. Blount should have been around 15 guy, not 5.
For some reason he turns into a TD vulture, which he very well could if he gets his act back together, and he gets 10 touchdowns, and that helps him win this year, and Terrence West turns out to be anything, I still can't really defend the Mike Wallace one. I just don't feel it. Oh, Mark Ingram was still around?
Yeah.
Okay, I would too, but to that, I don't like those picks, but at the same time, if they do help you win now, if you actually can play those guys, because he's probably looking at, and he has to pair with Delvin Cook, right? Who probably is going to struggle with that line this year.
Yep.
So you're thinking immediate help.
Yep.
I wouldn't have done it that way, but I'm trying to see kind of the thinking of it.
I'm gonna look at one team here who has. I'm just looking at the ranks between Dynasty and Draft. There's only one. The one team that has the best combination is second in this year and third in Dynasty. So let's just take a look and see what they have. That's the best one because I'm 1-7. There's another team that is 4th and 6th, and there's another team mismatch, which is 5th in both. But this team is 2nd and 3rd, so this is the best one off of, for now. He can win now, and he's going to be good later. So let's see what he has and what we think. His quarterback is Derek Carr. Obviously, that's a good one because he's good now. He's young. His backup quarterback is Stafford. Like it. Yeah. Great. Wonderful. That's a really good one, I think. Running backs. DeMarco Murray, so that's a win now guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Ingram, win now guy.
Right.
I'm stalling because there's nothing else. That's where he's ranked now well like that, but there's nothing else.
Oh, he only has 2 running backs?
Deion Lewis, Lance Dunbar.
Okay.
That's it.
So
that's it.
Barring,
how is he up there so high? I'm sorry, man.
Well, I'm guessing it only goes by starting roster too. So this year he can absolutely win, right? I don't understand he must have, obviously, I love the quarterback situation. He probably has very good wide receivers to keep. And in this situation, if his wide receivers are as good as I think they're going to be in the future, this is, if you only need one position, you can get him in the draft next year. I mean, you could have gotten, or trade up and get him. I mean, Mixon, McCaffrey, Fournette, Delvin Cook, all this year, right? And all of them would be perfectly viable options to go on your team, and all of a sudden you're fine again.
Then again, think about it. We think running back is scarce in a 10-team league. This is a 14.
Yeah.
So it is. It's perfectly understandable. His wide receivers are Julio, Brandon Cooks, Golden Tate, Randall Cobb. For a 14-team league, that's really solid.
Yeah, that's very solid.
He was the one, I think if he would have picked Odell or Mike Evans, I would like this even more.
I would too.
Brandon Cooks is young. I like that. Golden Tate's, he's solid. Randall Cobb, sure, could be. He has some backup options like Kevin White. We'll see if he does anything. His tight end's Greg Olsen, so Olsen could be around for a while yet and be solid.
Yeah, I think he's probably a player.
We always think this is a 14 team, so it's not going to be just everyone's just absolutely stacked. But his starting lineup for a 14-team league is very good. It should be very good.
Yeah, he will be able to win this year. That is for sure.
Then we'll just take a look at one more team. Team Sponseller. He is the team that's ranked number 1 for this year. He's ranked 9th for Dynasty. But let's just see what we think, how these ranks look.
Sure.
this is a win-now team then, apparently. Tom Brady at quarterback. Of course, the ultimate win-now team has Tom Brady at quarterback. That makes sense. Running backs are Jordan Howard and Robert Kelly.
I like that.
Howard. And Kelly's young. I don't know if he's ever going to do much. And he also has Doug Martin. So
nice.
I like that. I do like that. And I think that's actually better long-term than maybe they're giving him credit for. Wide receivers, Jordy Nelson. This is where he gets a little older, I guess. Jordy Nelson, Des Bryant, Larry Fitzgerald. Like it a lot, but I can see it.
Yeah, and depending on, I'm guessing that he got Fitzgerald relatively late.
Yeah, I don't have him in front, but probably.
Yeah, who else does he have on his bench?
Cameron Meredith is also on his team.
I love that. I mean,
Travis
especially
Kelce at tight end.
Oh, it's
so this might be better dynasty-wise than they give him credit for.
I think so.
And then let's see, backup-wise. See, then he has Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard. You know, they have some potential. There's not much else. Like that's why.
Who's his backup quarterback?
Trevor Siemian. That's why this isn't as good. Then he has Eric Decker also at wide receiver. It's another win now type guy, but his bench is why he's not ranked as high. Like Sanu, Alfred Blue, Chris Hogan, Zach Zenner, Jeremy Langford, those kind of things. And he has 2 kickers. Why do you have 2 kickers, man? Why?
Yeah,
no, but this team actually is better to me future than it's given it credit for. Possibly, I mean, he can make some moves and make it work. You just got to make moves. But that's just okay.
Yeah, and that is very interesting too, because obviously one player can make all the difference in your future plans or your future rankings. Yep. So take it with a grain of salt, because for him, he does have win now. I love that he has Cam Meredith, right? So as soon as Fitzgerald say he's done next year, Cam Meredith steps right in. You're whole again. Yep. The quarterback situation scares me a little bit, but even next year, Tom Brady's probably going to play a few years, so you can invest in a quarterback next year, and then all of a sudden you have his backup heir apparent. You're fine again. Yep. So I mean, I like that. As long as you have a core of players, you can always build around it, and waivers as well. I mean, I know in a 14-team league, you're going to probably have to dig down. But, man, I mean, I would just be grabbing anyone with any sort of future value. I would not hold anyone Langford, I would get rid of him. I don't think there's any reason to have him on this Dynasty team. He's not going to help you now. He's not going to help you later. Yep. Obviously, he did have Howard, though, right? So he was actually doing a handcuff. Yep. I gotcha.
And then, I'll just say the rest of our team here. I also got Tyrell Williams, a wide receiver. C.J. Anderson as a running back there. I think we said, but he's 26. He's my old guy. But, hey, who knows?
So 26 is the oldest guy you have on your team?
Yeah, 26. So, Tyler Eifert at tight end. He's also 26, so he's the other old guy. Well, I actually, not kicker. I'm like Nick Novak.
Yeah, okay.
He's the old guy.
It's actually funny that Eifert is 26 because it feels like we haven't seen him around at all.
Other backups here. O.J. Howard as a backup tight end. Could be some great potential there, obviously.
Yeah, that's great.
Corey Coleman, wide receiver, backup. Jeremy Hill, so I have Mixon and Hill.
Oh, nice. So that's good too, yeah.
Joe Williams, the backup at San Francisco. Who knows?
Yeah, wait and see, guys.
Just basically, I loaded up on some running backs here to see. Jeremy McNichols, the rookie from Tampa. Once you get down to these deep drafts, you might as well just load up, and these kind of guys. Kenneth Dixon, he's suspended, and then he's going to be out. He's hurt also. He's out for the year. It's a deep, deep bench.
Yeah, do we have IR?
We have IR, but he's officially suspended right now. Once his suspension is officially lifted, you can put him on IR. But we have 2 IR spots. We made plenty of use on these IR spots. Yep. I drafted Mike Williams, wide receiver. I got him. That's what. Let's see. I want to see where I got Mike Williams, and this is where people in a dynasty. Sometimes you got to just. If you're like in an ESPN, they have the ranks. It's like this year's rank. It's not dynasty rank. So you got to maybe do some digging and some thinking that hey, there's guys that it's a top 10 drafted wide receiver. He's going to be good for a long time. So I drafted him in the 10th round. John Ross actually went ahead of him. But Jordan Matthews went ahead of him. Also, I don't understand. Marvin Jones went ahead of him. I wouldn't do that. Kenny Golladay went ahead of Mike Williams. That's getting a little overhyped and a little crazy.
Yeah.
Kenny Golladay went ahead of John Ross.
I think Golladay should be drafted in Dynasty, but don't jump him over guys that I think are better than him right now. Yeah. I wouldn't do that. Williams, Ross, Davis.
Corey Davis went ahead of him, but still, Golladay shouldn't be the second rookie wide receiver off the board. But Mike Williams, there's a couple of those guys he shouldn't be drafted ahead of. They shouldn't be drafted ahead of him.
And as soon
Chris Thompson at running back shouldn't be drafted ahead of him. Ted Ginn should not be drafted ahead of Mike Williams. There's no way.
No, he shouldn't.
Josh Doxson shouldn't be drafted ahead of Mike Williams. I can see you maybe want to do it, but he shouldn't be. I don't think you should do it. Eric Decker shouldn't be in.
I understand the Doxson one though. If you really, really love him, he's he's insanely young. He's only a year removed from the draft anyway. I kind of get that one.
Another one I stashed on my IR was Devontae Booker. He'll be off it soon, but got Devontae Booker in there too. Elijah McGuire. Got Elijah McGuire.
Yeah, I mean, once again, a complete wait and see guy.
Complete, 100%. Tywan Taylor, the rookie receiver from Tennessee, the other rookie receiver from Tennessee. And I got Brandon Coleman from New Orleans, Chris Conley from Kansas City.
Oh, I like the Conley pick.
So that's basically my team.
Yeah, so and I like the way you did it as well. I don't have quite as many win now guys, but I like the fact that you're taking more flyers at the end that have, even if say one or two hit, it's still way better to me than having, and when I say hit, I mean actually becoming good where they could actually start for you next year.
All right, I think that's it for the startup. We just, hopefully teams in the league, hopefully we didn't call you out too bad, a couple of you guys. Sorry, Father Johns.
Yeah, you saw a lot of different strategies, and it's very interesting. You never know who gets a little more hyped up, who they root for, who they really like. It always comes into play, and like the Galladay guy, I totally understand because obviously we record and we're from Michigan, so we're in plenty of places where people are goo-goo gaga over that guy.
All right, I think that's going to be it for this episode. We will talk to you guys next week.